Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hi guys, it's Lou with Let Loose with Lou. Today, Melon and I are going to be recapping of our previous episodes and what's going on and what's expected for this summer, what she has going on, what I have going on. We're just going to go ahead and spill the tea. What do you think?
I think we're just pretty much just chilling today. So you guys will hear. Who knows how this is going to turn
I
Oh
know.
boy.
I'm pretty sure it'll turn out good. Melon's feeling a little
Yeah,
drained.
we gotta turn her mic up. We gotta get some energy in here.
out.
Yeah, I know. Let's get that a little closer to
You
you.
want to
Open
get
up
this?
wide.
There we go.
There we go.
Wow! Now I just woke up.
I've had to
But I
replace more mics that way.
Woo-wee. So we were just talking right now. What do you have going on this summer? You're gonna
Oh geez, this summer I have all kind of travels. I'm going to Africa. I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to the motherland, and I'm going to go and see some zebras running, some elephants, talk to the elephants or do something like that.
you got
That's what
memories.
I'm looking at doing. Yeah.
Okay, good for
Yeah.
you.
Hey,
So
talk to us a little bit about your travel. Like that seems something you seem to really enjoy, and I think a lot of people would love to be able to do that. Like, where do you get the travel bug from? Is that something you've always had?
I've always, yeah, definitely. Good question. I've always had the travel bug from my youth because I came over here from Panama. I was 9 years old, and my stepfather and my mom, they traveled a lot. Like we had a motorhome,
Hmm.
and so we've been to Yellowstone Park.
Wow.
We've been to different places because we traveled across the United States in the
Mhm.
motorhome.
Really?
Me, my mom,
That's
and
so
my
cool.
8 siblings.
Wow.
And so it was very interesting to me. And that really kind of sparked that. I think that sparked me. And so in school, I started studying about different places, was it geographic locations, and I started I started
Here, Lou,
pinpointing
we're gonna get you a
places.
pillow. You need a pillow?
Okay.
we start,
Woo, it's getting hot up in here.
we started pin.
Thank you.
I started pinpointing places where I wanted to travel. And one of my favorite spots that I wanted to travel was Greece.
Sounds
Okay,
like a
And so I finally had the opportunity to go to Greece last year, and it
nice.
was amazing. So although I want to go back because I didn't get to see one of the islands, which is Athens, because I love mythology.
Mm,
So I'm trying to try. I have a map at home, and I have stars everywhere I've traveled. And
that's
someone
so
came
cute.
in and said, "Oh, are those places you want to go?" I was like, "No,
mm,
those places I've been."
that's something to say. So, like, how does a person travel like that? Do you typically go in groups? Are there like deals, or do you just sort of fly it solo, or how do you do it?
Okay, so yeah, so I connected with a travel group, and
Ooh.
the group started off with small amount of people. The first place I traveled with them was the Eastern Caribbean,
Okay.
and
Nice.
it was about maybe 200 of us. And
200?
yeah, and
Was this a
then
cruise?
yes. So we flew to Puerto Rico and we took this cruise. And then I think when we went to Europe,
Mhm.
it was it was about 300 of us on there. Yeah. So I travel with the group, and usually it's either a large amount or sometimes it's just a few girls, because I rather do that way than when I'm going international to have people with me,
Mhm.
because you don't want to be by yourself. I know a lot of people like, oh, I just travel by myself, but it gets scary because one girl got sick when we were in
Mm,
Europe.
Uh-oh.
And if she was by herself, I think that would have been like terrifying,
wow. Yeah.
Wow.
because you had no one to contact or know what's going on.
Mhm.
So, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I just go by myself. And I get that I go by myself because when you're dealing with other people, it is
You have to be
like
on their time
you have
or
to be on
their
their time, and then you got to
schedule.
vibe with them. And, some people are just, they're in their ways and they're not flexible. So that's the downside of traveling with someone. The upside is you're free to do whatever you want to do, um, if you travel by yourself. But then it comes to the situation of now you got to be weary, because when you go to these other countries, It is not like you think it is.
Right.
Like when we went to Europe, they told us, this was in Italy. Keep your backpack. Don't carry backpacks. They said because what they do is they'll cut the bottom of the backpack and
Wow.
get your stuff. Or if you wear like a fanny pack, they'll cut it off of you and run. So the best thing to have is a crossbody and put your hand on it as you walking. Okay.
Mm.
So we were like,
Wow.
so I took all my jewelry and stuff and, you left it in the room. But the one girl from Compton was with us and she, she was walking and one of the little guys came and he went after her back. He felt something after her
Yeah.
back. She turned around and beat the dog shit out of him.
Obviously, he hasn't had a taste of a girl from Compton.
And
Yeah.
he jumped up talking about she beating me. That was funny, but it wasn't funny because it could have took a whole different turn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those things you have to be careful. I do a lot of cruises.
You never been in that predicament to where they almost like robbed you or something's been stolen. You're like, where did it go?
No, I haven't had that situation. I've had a situation where I felt something, so I diverted and went a different
Oh,
direction.
like your spidey senses?
Yeah, I
Okay.
went to Sicily. I didn't realize how Sicily is the ghetto.
Is it really?
It is straight the ghetto. It is ghetto in Sicily.
Mm.
And it was during their siesta. And I'm like, what is going on? It's like, yeah, everybody shuts down.
Yeah.
All the
Mm.
businesses shut down. So the streets are empty. And I'm walking down the street, graffiti all on the wall. It was just like, am I in Compton?
It's
I
just
don't
in
want to put
another
Compton
language,
down,
right?
but yeah. But you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
East LA, downtown LA, whatever.
How
it's
about
the
any
same.
city with graffiti? There we go.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. So in my travels, I've met people and very interesting how we see the different lifestyles
Mhm.
than what we are accustomed to.
So, what's the difference that you've seen and that you have not blended but gravitated to? Like, because sometimes you see like a certain. I mean, I haven't traveled out of the country besides Mexico and maybe the Bahamas, and
Hmm.
I think that's about it. But I haven't traveled out, but I do want to start. And I always said once I turn 50, I'm going to start traveling out of the country. But then what happened in 2019 and 20 and kind of ruined everything for
I
everybody.
thought you were gonna say you haven't turned 50 yet.
Oh, thank you,
I thought she was gonna
Sullivan.
say she's pregnant.
Oh, damn.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
might
something that
look
happened.
pregnant, but I'm not. No, but now I'm like, okay, I really want to like start, and I keep telling you because of course I always tell you like, Melon, I want to go with you. I want because I just love and I admire how you are just so daring. Like you just like live life to the fullest.
And I do, and I'm gonna tell you what sparked that because my stepfather, God rest his soul, he loved to travel. He was the guy that would pushed us to travel when we were younger. And he one year he became an amputee.
Oh, wow.
And he was from Louisiana.
Mhm.
So he Shreveport. So he loved to go to the Bayou Classic, which is, Grambling and
Yeah.
Southern, their game.
Mhm.
And so after he got amputated, then I went with him to escort him on the plane and all that. And I just saw how difficult it was and how he couldn't even go to the game because, he in a wheelchair and he
Yeah.
didn't want to bug people and stuff like that. So with that year, I remember very, very well, 2004, when I came back from that trip, I said, I'm going to do whatever I possibly can, travel as much as I can, while I can. And that year, 2004, I think I never unpacked my bags. I
Wow.
was landing and I had so many miles,
Mm.
frequent flyer miles, because I saw that. And then when we went to Europe, the girls took their mom and their moms couldn't go and tour because it was too much walking and they couldn't handle the walk. And I was like, well, the thing is a lot of people wait. And you know what? You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
You
you
don't.
may
And
end
you
up
do keep telling me that, and I keep saying, "Oh my god!" Like as soon
because
as
that's what most people do.
yes,
They just say, "Oh, I'll just," and then it's like they're at the point where they're saying, "Oh, I should have."
Mhm.
But isn't that's sort of what society teaches us, right? Work hard, work hard, work hard, retire, and then you can do what you want. And then by the
Mm-mm.
time you retire, you
You
can't go
can't.
nowhere. You
Yeah.
can't you
That is
can't
Yeah.
so
walk, you
true.
can't get up the
Yeah.
stairs. You're traveling these old folks
Right.
buses in
You're on
Italy.
oxygen mask. I mean, when
Yeah.
I go on these cruises, these people on oxygen masks and real. I went on one cruise because it was a new ship.
Mhm.
And so all the senior citizens who are diamond gold stars come,
Wow.
come on there, and they're like in the like scooter. I mean, you getting ran over by scooters
Oh,
and stuff. So I said I would not ever want to travel. By that time, I can sit down and look back on what I've traveled.
Yes.
right.
I'll tell you a story, a true story. In 2018, I was on my way to Europe, and I was having trouble breathing, and which led me had to go to the doctor. Long story short, I had blood clots that had traveled into my lungs.
I remember you told me that.
Yes, and I was supposed to travel 2 weeks after that situation happened. Prior, and so what the doctor told me, if I would have got on that plane with the
Mhm.
blood clots,
Yeah.
I
Gosh.
wouldn't have made it back.
Right.
And he said, "You need to know how severe this was." And I sit in the bed and I said, and I asked God, I said, "Just get me through this thing because Mama need to travel." So the doctor cleared me to travel when I went to Europe, but it was crazy because another girl that was with us, she had the same thing and she was stuck in Europe.
So do you know what caused the blood clots?
So what happened was I had them in my legs.
Mhm.
I forget the medical term, something thrombosis, TTV is what they call it.
But
I know that.
like, do you know what?
So where that went, so at a certain age, I had a gynecologist that they say taking birth control pills will help you with PMS.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I was on birth control, not to get rid of PMS because I had a tubal ligation. So the birth control pills, they said is what caused the
Blood clots.
DVTs in
Yeah.
my legs. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if you ever start having pain in your calves and you don't know what that pain is, don't do like I did. I went to every masseuse and tried to get them to. There you go, deep
Deep
vein
vein
thrombosis.
Thrombosis. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
And so, good, you're awesome.
He is.
That's why I have
You're the
someone else
best.
coming to come work with you.
Ooh.
Thank
So
you.
anyway, they were massaging me, trying to get this pain out. Well, the massage
Mhm.
broke up
The blood
the
clot?
blood clots, and they traveled into my lungs.
Mm.
Yeah, so my lung not damaged like terrible, but it still has some damage from
Yes. From the blood
the
clot.
blood clot. So they're telling me that I had to stay on instead of blood thinners. I was on blood thinners for about a year.
They gave you baby aspirin.
So they told me to start taking baby aspirin. So I was taking the baby aspirin. Then I started looking up about baby aspirin because
Mhm.
I s- I'm I don't forget things. My memory is amazing. Like in school, I never had to study. I had photogenic memory.
Wow.
Now, honey,
Uh-huh.
I can't even remember where I put my keys. So and that bothered me. That started bothering me that I couldn't remember
That's not
small
good.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
dangerous.
yeah, so I looked up at the baby aspirins and they said baby aspirin causes memory loss.
What?
Get out of here.
Yes. It said
No
it.
way.
Yeah, aspirin causes memory loss. So I was like, this is why I can't remember things because it bothered me so much. Like I couldn't remember words. I can't remember, things like
That's
that.
crazy. We got to look that up and see
Yeah.
if it.
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
so I heard a doctor speak and he's into a lot of natural stuff.
Mhm.
And they said, and he was saying some interesting things. One thing he said was, why don't the doctors tell you drinking grapefruit juice helps with
Blood
um blood pressure,
Mhm.
and if you take something else it helps with capsicum, which is red pepper,
Okay.
helps with keeping your blood thin.
Yes.
Then I thought about it because they told me like they diagnosed me with hypertension, but that came from work. Um, they diagnosed me with hypertension. They were giving me these pills because they'll give you all kind of pills, right?
Yep. They're good for that.
And so I'm taking these pills for hypertension, and he says, "Well, why didn't when you take these pills, you can't drink grapefruit juice?
Mhm.
Well, why can't you take grapefruit juice?
Mhm.
Oh, because grapefruit juice, guess what?
Mhm.
lowers your blood pressure.
Yep, it sure does.
So,
Mhm.
but the doctors will never tell you that,
Sheesh.
Yeah, so I
Every
started
black person in America should be on grapefruit
they
juice.
don't get it.
And
Grapefruit, yeah,
Samoans.
grapefruit.
Samoans and
Because if you notice,
yeah.
everybody in the world, allegedly, or not in the world, the majority of people,
United States
the majority of the people that go to the doctor, they always end up with hypertension
or
or
diabetes.
pre-diabetic.
Mhm.
Isn't that interesting? And then they have all the medicines for that.
Mhm.
But they have side effects, your running
Oh, yeah.
bowels, and
So,
yeah, you may go blind and your
yeah.
teeth may fall out. But hey,
Well, you might be too young for this, Solomon, but back in the days, no, he's a
I
baby.
appreciate that.
Yeah. So like back in the days, remember when the all the commercials were about like, hey, drink milk, it does the body good, and everything was about, healthy
yeah,
stuff,
natural
right?
stuff. Yeah.
Whenever did you see a commercial regarding fucking medication? Like, is this government that crazy that they've tapped on this medical like pocket that all they do is freaking push medicine on like I don't watch TV for once.
Hmm.
But if I did and I sat there and I watched every fucking commercial that has to do with medication, I mean, I would probably be brainwashed thinking, "Oh, I need that medication because they're saying that we need it."
Well, if you listen to the medication, they're saying wait to the end, and when they
Yeah,
tell you about all the side effects,
exactly. In little
you might be
yeah,
grow a fifth toe.
your eyes might go
I mean,
cross-eyed.
when you
Yeah.
listen to this, I'm like, okay,
No,
But
yeah.
then they still show the person all super happy. Blah, blah,
Oh,
happy,
yeah.
blah.
yeah,
Yeah, like,
yeah,
"Look at me. I'm taking depression pills,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I wanna be suicidal
Yeah,
also too."
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's like
And there's medicine that causes you to be
suicide.
suicidal.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, like,
But you
everything
won't cough anymore.
yeah, you won't cough anymore, but you're gonna wanna, like,
You wanna kill yourself.
unalive yourself,
Yeah, yeah.
But it's sad, though, because you see that, everything I feel like we've become literally, we have become the test dummies. Like, I
I
feel
agree.
yeah, like, before, they would say, "Oh, lab rats,"
We are the lab rat.
We are the
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
we are. Because everything now is like, "Hey, Solomon, you have what? Here, take this medication. It just, it just started, but let's see what the side effects are." And then they start giving all the prognosis and all the pros and the cons. And then by the time you know it, your liver's halfway gone or your kidneys are,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have yeah.
Wait till they come up with the well, I guess people don't read the side effects of this Ozempic and this fast weight loss
That's an
that
okay,
everybody's on.
that's another one. Like a lot of people are on it. And listen here, if you like it, you're more than happy to try it. I tried it. I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and check this out and see what it's all about. But guess what? That shit is dangerous. It's fucking dangerous. And personally, me, I just said, I can't do stuff like that anymore. Like, because we're getting older. And one side effect that I actually noticed was that I couldn't drink water. I wasn't hydrating my body enough.
Hmm.
And I
Mhm.
did it because it was a damn fad, Oh, just
Yeah, it is. Even
Yeah.
South Park had a series about it, and it was hilarious
Yeah. Well, now they're
because
talking
they had
about
Kenny. Kenny, is that the little fat one? One of them.
Uh,
And they had him take the Ozempic, and all the mothers were taking it, and they was like, "Yeah, look at my body." They're wearing crop tops because of
because
Ozempic. But then, like I
shrunk them up.
said, they've never really
They did
said what
studies, yeah.
what's going to end up happening to your kidneys and to because it does affect your
It
kidneys because you
totally
have to
does.
hydrate. You have to drink a
Yes.
lot of water with it.
For me, I was disgusted with I used to drink jugs of water, like jugs. And I would be like, "Oh, water wasn't nothing." For some reason, and I only took it for 3 months. I was like, "Let me see what this is all about," right?
That's why you were looking so skinny.
For a minute. Yeah, but it was only 3 months, and I was on the point 25 at that. But the point of it all is that the damage that I did to myself wasn't worth the fad,
Yeah.
And
I don't think people really care about the damage. I mean, because if we go into the
some
body,
people don't care
the
about
the
well,
you
people
know,
smoke cigarettes, and that's damaging.
that's
So
super
yeah.
but in China, They smoke like crazy, and they
And
live
they live to
forever.
that be 100.
So
So it's
what
kind of weird, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
My
What is it?
grandmother lived to 105 years old, and she chewed snuff. Is that what it's called? Snuff?
Well,
No.
tobacco, yeah.
Yeah, she
Mm,
smoked tobacco
yeah.
and and chewed tobacco. She didn't smoke it, she chewed it.
Right.
They
Chewed it.
called it snuff.
Yeah.
Snuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
I'ma
she lived to be
snuff you up.
105. Yeah, she lived to be 105 years old. I bet my daughter's downstairs trying to get in.
He hasn't called yet, so
She doesn't
That's so
know.
funny. We have a surprise visitor. No,
So
but it's true though. Like it's become such a craze. You know how the government is like now pushing all this medication, and we're like the guinea pigs, and people don't see that we are the guinea pigs. They're just like, you know what? Insurance pays for it. Hell, let's just try it out. And like for me, I was just like, oh no, I couldn't deal with that anymore. I was like, no, thank you. Once
yeah.
I noticed that I wasn't drinking water for 2 to 3 days, I was like,
Wow.
yeah, that's scary.
well, they still used to talk about aspirins way back when. It's just the thing about it is they didn't have as many medications that were available over the counter, or
Right.
so there weren't as many, and so it served a limited role. Now, though, there's like you said, there's such a market for that
It's a
these companies
huge
are
market.
spending pharmaceutical companies spending millions and millions of dollars advertising these things. But back to your point, really quick on just the weight loss. If you're taking medication for weight loss. The problem is that when you're once you come off there, you're just gonna gain the weight back, and that's the biggest problem with most of those weight loss things.
And quick.
People gain the weight back.
You
Come on.
gain it, you gain it
Look,
quick.
I gained it all.
So then I had a friend that did it for like 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah. She did it 2
I
years
couldn't even handle
and
3.
and she was really tiny, but she ended up really sick. She ended up really sick. And it was because of that.
Well, now they're saying that you have something to do with your intestines, lazy intestines or something like that.
Mm.
I don't know let's see, what is that called? The
Lazy intestine.
something there's this, let me see.
I wanted to get back more on your travel stuff,
I
but
know we diverted.
you diverted.
Sorry.
You, she said I didn't feel where you went. Why?
Well, that's the way our head goes. We just go. But yeah, so anyway, back to the travels.
Yes, let's get back. Sorry,
So, so one of
guys.
the questions I had for you with regard to travel,
Mhm.
what is like one like major misconception that people who haven't traveled think about,
Peekaboo.
certain countries or areas or lifestyles or something where someone who has traveled knows that that's not actually true.
Well, I think one of the misconception is that when you go out of the country, um, you're thinking that their life is like not a cool life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Their life is their life. Okay, I'm gonna give an example. When I went to this island, it's called Dominica,
Okay.
Ooh,
and I went there
you're a
and
freaka.
so when I went there, it was very interesting because like everybody was so mellow. Everybody was, you saw the people, their skin was like they looked like they had no worries in the world, right?
Right.
Their skin was amazing and everything. So I just looked, I was like, well, you know what? There's no pollution around here. They don't have all the pollution that we
Mhm.
deal with. Literally, when I travel out the country and go to like these islands, like I lose weight somehow. It looks like I'm losing weight because I don't know, it's something in the air, I guess. I
Mhm.
think it's something like in the air. And my skin is just amazing.
Radiant.
It's amazing. And so I go to like their springs, their little hot springs and
Mhm.
stuff like they live off nature.
Yes, absolutely.
I went to St. Lucia
Mhm.
and I went and walked through the rainforest. And through the rainforest, I got to try what they call their M&Ms, which it was a chocolate
Cacao.
cacao. Yes,
Mhm.
they call it M&Ms. They have a
Was it
plant.
like mushrooms?
No,
No,
it's not like mushrooms.
they had a plant that cured HIV, and they said that's where Magic Johnson goes. and they
Mm.
take the plant and they have it and they drink it like tea. And I was like, now that's interesting. Very interesting. Why?
But why is it
So yeah,
interesting though?
Because the states don't know about it.
No, the state does know.
And they're not going to let it. Well, they do know,
They
but I'm talking
know.
about the people.
Yes.
The
They
people don't know of it,
no.
but the pharmaceutical,
They're not gonna want to. They don't want the people to tap into natural.
no, because
Yeah.
then guess what? The pharmaceutical industry
Well,
is we keep on going right back to that.
yeah. But see how it started?
It's a $1 billion company. But anyway, it was very interesting to see these things, and they live off the land.
The nature.
They
Yeah,
they're
the
not
land.
they're not stressed. Literally, they're not stressed. They're like, even in Jamaica, I read they don't do anything fast. Take them 2 hours to
Yeah.
make a coffee.
2 hours to
They
make
have a
coffee.
Yeah.
Starbucks. It took 2 hours to make coffee
and
because
everybody's in shape, and all the guys are ripped.
and all of it
Yes.
because they're
Ser-
swimming,
yeah.
they're walking,
They're
they do
walking
a lot
of walking.
Yes.
walking.
That's
That's
what I
what
saw
I
when I was
noticed.
there.
Yeah.
And they look healthy, and they're like 60 looking 30-ish.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like their
Yeah.
skin's flawless. And you're like, what the fuck are we doing wrong here? Like, and we're buying $300 cream for our face. Because why? Because J-Lo wears it. Or because so and so uses it. And we're like applying that shit all over us because if it worked for them, it has to work for us, right?
Yeah. And so another misconception is like when I travel to a lot of third world countries.
Okay.
And when you travel to third world countries, the misconception, oh, they're poor, they're walking around looking like scavengers. No,
They're happy.
they look fine. They're happy, and they're living life the way they live life. I mean, we're the ones that are in our country. We got to have BMWs and all this stuff.
So,
They don't
yeah.
need any of that stuff. They'll care less about it.
Okay,
Right.
so I have a friend, like born and raised in Cuba. And so I was like, I would love to go to Cuba, but this was like 20 years ago. And they're saying, I go, is it really as bad as they say?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you know what? It's such a hype. Like, it's not. Like, literally, we might not have everything you guys have here, but we don't know what you have because you know why? Because we don't have televisions like that. We don't see advertisement what you guys have. Like, we don't have that instilled into our heads like, oh, they live in a house with 4 concrete walls, air conditioning, blah blah blah. They drive this kind of nothing. They're like, we're happy. We wake up every morning, we get our food, we go dancing, we sing. We're good. We're happy.
And that's what they do, yeah. And then, I mean, like a lot of houses I've seen in several different places, totally different from ours. Of course, they have no
Mhm.
windows and no doors. They don't need them because
It's hot as heck over
it's
there.
hot as
Yeah,
heck. And so
exactly.
I mean, it's just totally
That's
different. And if you're not accustomed to living that way, then that's like to you, oh, that's poor. They're going through. No, they're not. That's great for them. You know,
They're
what I mean?
happy.
Yeah, yeah.
But look at my baby daddy. When he lived in Samoa,
Mm-hmm.
he says like we only had like a roof.
Yeah,
That was it.
yeah. And
People came in and out, and it was like nothing.
Well, think about the 1940s. There was no TV,
Yeah.
right? There was
Yeah.
no
Exactly.
internet, and yet people had lives and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were
Yes.
happy.
Yeah,
So,
and they
of course,
walk.
it
I mean, I
is
think about,
possible.
I think back because see, I love cowboys, so I just sit down. And I think when I'm traveling, like if I'm on a train, plane, whatever, I'm looking out the window of the plane. If I could see, the
land,
mountains and the
yeah.
land, I just sit down and think like, wow, these people used to travel on horses and across the country on horses
Isn't that
and
crazy?
didn't
Amazing,
bathe and
Didn't
I mean,
we?
didn't wash their hair.
Okay, so let me ask you my personal travel question. Do you enjoy the journey, or do you just want to get there fast?
I enjoy the
Mm.
journey.
So you'd like trains then?
I love trains.
I love trains
Yeah,
as well.
I love trains. Yeah.
Connection.
I haven't
I
done
see a
long
connection.
distance ride on a train, in which I do want to. Um, there. I mean, then like what you're saying, you're being funny, but
Right.
people have travel buddies, and that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
they do. They go and travel together, and
I
have a
see
great
the
time because
connection.
you know what I mean? No, seriously. Because like I had a friend, unfortunately, he passed away. At the day before his birthday, he passed
Oh,
away.
no.
Mhm.
He just got his passport, and we were going to be travel buddies.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he literally, I kept telling him, get your passport
Mhm.
so we can go. He just got his passport. We were planning to go somewhere so he can get his first stamp.
Oh.
I haven't filled up 3 passports already. and and
Yeah.
he became unalive the day before his birthday,
That's
Oh, that's
and he
scary.
sad.
was only turning 59.
That's sad.
So this is why you see me. I do what I do.
Yeah.
I
And I
enjoy.
love that.
I
Like,
enjoy life because you know what? I one thing they can say at my celebration of life, she did what she wanted to do,
that's right. You
and she
did.
probably did everything there was to do.
Mhm.
And even not so that if I end up, Lord forget for Lord that it doesn't happen, that I end up in a situation where I'm bedridden. The one thing that I would do is look back through all my pictures. You guys take these pictures and download them off your phone. That's just my
Mhm.
information, you guys, because once those vanish, they're gone. But to look back at things that you've done and traveled, and I just sit down, it makes me happy to
Yeah.
just, if I'm having a bad day, I look back at my pictures of the places I've been, the people I've met. It's just amazing. So yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, you've been to really great places. That's one thing about you is like I admire. Like you're just not afraid to just go, and I love that. Like I love that.
Don't make her head too big. She's
Oh,
ready to
Okay,
get
it's
out of the
stop!
already big.
studio.
It's
Bam.
already big, but it's okay because she pretty big.
It's pretty big, no?
Pretty big.
So, what would be a place, either a place or an experience that you haven't done yet that you'd like to do? Like, I've been to Sweden, and I thought that was really really cool,
Hmm.
and I'd love to go back. And
Yeah.
I've got 3 stamps. I got Sweden, France, and Amsterdam
Ooh.
on
Okay.
my.
I haven't
So
did Amsterdam yet,
yeah,
Oh.
but I would like to go and see the red light district. Um,
I think it's been an experience, right?
yeah.
Absolutely.
But where I really want to go is Egypt.
Okay.
I would love to go to
I
Egypt,
that's yeah, and
Morocco.
before all this stuff just happened, I was planning on going to Egypt.
Hmm.
And so now I'm not. So I think I'm gonna go. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Oh, I know. I'm gonna go to Venus.
Okay.
Yeah,
Venus.
they got rocket ships going up there now.
Yeah,
So
it doesn't.
Uh, I think you'd have to work a few more years before
Exactly
that.
for that one.
no, not really. I can go work for 'em.
What parts of Africa have you been to? What countries in Africa have you?
I've been to Liberia,
Okay.
and that's all the only place I've been.
Okay.
Mm.
And that's only because I had a boyfriend that his father was a king, and I didn't believe
Ooh.
him, so I needed to go and see if it was really a king.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was interesting.
What was interesting about it though?
It that the women walk around without shirts.
Mm.
And I let my stuff hang all out too.
Did you really?
I did, because that's
Get
what I
out
did.
of here. Do you have
Yeah.
some pictures?
I will not show those.
She's like, I will not.
But once again, the way and I was on the side of the rich money.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
his dad was a king. One thing I learned about that, see, the men here in California, LA, United States,
Mhm.
see, out there you can have as many wives as you can afford. They just want to have as many women. They're not thinking they can afford. They just want to have a bunch of women. But if you can afford 10 wives and they all have to have the same thing. If you buy one a car, you buy them all a car.
Oh.
And so that's their law of having, multiple wives or whatever. Here you have multiple wives, you don't let the other one know about it, and you know the rest of the
Yeah.
story.
So
We
you
know that-
so
how
you
that
show your
works.
riches by how many wives you have, right?
Yes.
One guy says I have 10, the
Wow.
other guy says I have 20.
Because they know, oh, he's got to have some money, because they all,
How do they keep up with all those women though?
I have no idea.
That's
But
a
there
good
is a guy we can
Well,
have
there
on
are
next
30 days in
podcast.
in the month. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then,
One for every day of the week.
There you go.
yeah. And, the wives are more like friends, like sisters.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're more like sisters. They be talking about them like,
She's so crazy. Huh?
Okay, we're not going to get stereotypical here.
She's waking up. She's waking up.
yeah. So,
Okay,
so,
so
yeah.
so give us some tips for someone who's taking their first jaunt overseas. What things should they worry about? I know you talked a little bit about, keeping your bag and things like that, but
What to
about places to
pack.
stay. Should you go on the path where most of the tourists go? Should you venture out on your own?
So here's one thing that I've learned. Like, if you go over there, like when I went to Jamaica, for instance, it's just an example. I met up with a guy who owned his own transportation service, right?
Mhm.
And so not only did his own transportation service, he also had like a tourism service,
All
right?
right.
But we befriended. And so when I go over there, I don't even worry. I go and he takes me everywhere I need to go. He introduces me to people, that I can, if he's not around, I can go and meet. So if you go overseas, and I would say don't try to do anything unless you know the territory. Don't try to do anything
So
alone.
stay on the resort.
Stay on the resorts, find out what's going on. And a lot of times on the resorts, there's somebody that's there
Yeah.
that has family that, because we did that when we went to the DR. And there was a guy on the resort who had family, and they came and picked us up and took us to their house and all
Right.
that stuff. And of course, we did not go alone.
Right.
Going by yourself is dumb.
Mm.
Don't think that you got it, and you never.
Mm.
Always have at least one or two people with you.
Mhm.
Don't drink something somebody just gives you. You don't see where it's coming from,
Right.
because there are in those countries too people that try to do things because they think you got money, period, because you're coming from
America.
America. So you just be aware of your surroundings, be aware of what you're doing. Don't go alone. Don't go too far off the beaten path unless you got somebody you can trust that's from there to follow you or be with you. You know what I mean?
And I just read up on a story about that because I'm always, you know me, I go into rabbit holes. I
Mhm.
read up on everything and then I start like researching and going down more into a rabbit hole.
Mhm.
But there was this one girl that went with her friend and they went to Europe.
Mhm.
And so this guy was saying that he felt like so like much in love with her, right? So I don't know. I guess a long story short, he captivated her, and the friend found out, and then I don't know how the girl escaped, but it turned out that the guy had killed his ex girlfriend prior to that girl, and so this is in a whole different country. And they're like, you have to be careful. Like, if you meet somebody in a club or at a restaurant, be careful because this is not your country. Like, you don't know
Right.
what. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
That happened in Aruba. Every time I go to Aruba, they go, "Oh, that's where that Nicole chick got killed."
Oh,
That's
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
right.
think she was like 18 or something years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a
And you got to be
wow.
careful because the sweetest people are the Jeffrey Dahmers.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
Yeah,
so
that can happen in any country. But I was going to say, speaking of America, before we get out of here, there's something where people feel like they can go to the country and they think the laws are the same as the U.S., right? And that's something you have to be careful of, right?
very much so. You have to be very careful because the laws are totally different.
well, yeah.
And you think that, oh, I can just go to the embassy. Well, it's not that easy because you
Mhm.
got to make it there first.
Yeah.
But they will get you. And we've had incidents where people thought I can do whatever I want to do because whatever, but this is not your country. You are not. And if you get stuck in jail or something in another country,
Mhm.
good luck getting back.
Right.
They may
Well,
never
look what
see you.
happened to Carly B. Did you hear what happened to Carly B?
You
Mm-mm.
mean Cardi B,
Cardi B? Is that her name?
the rapper?
What's her name? Cardi B? Yeah. Okay, Cardi B.
She said, Carly.
I said Carly. Cardi B. Was she? I guess she had weed or something in her stash, and they found it when she like got out of her airplane. I don't know. That's what I read. And
Yeah, we've
yeah.
had a yeah, we had that situation. Yeah, we
What?
had that situation in Cabo. Yeah, and yeah, and it was a scary situation because didn't know, that's cartel over there.
Yeah.
Right.
And it
right.
wasn't even like a lot of weed, okay.
Whoa.
Well, my daughter said it was 14 grams since it was her. And so and so I mean, like it was really crazy because they extorted us like pretty much like to get money.
We gotta finish up. Let him finish
Yeah,
real quick.
to get money from us, they try to extort us, and then and they got money because I am like, oh, I'm not gonna let them
Yeah.
take my child, because
Hell no.
next thing you know, they've been trying
Yeah.
to trap, human
Sex
traffic,
trafficking or
Yeah.
whatever.
sex traffic, yeah.
And then Oregon.
Yeah, so the whole thing was
So-
like I was very nervous and blah blah blah. And so anyway, we get done, and at the end of the story was they won $1,000.
Mm.
Shit.
Yeah, and so they were asking me, why did she have it? I was like, well, it's not even that much. but she has mental issues. She doesn't take.
So she brought
so-
it from here on over
Yeah,
there.
yeah, and
Okay,
so
and then
the-
they
at
bringing
the
it
airport, yeah,
back.
in the airport, they caught her coming in. She didn't even make it in.
Wow.
But the funny part is once they end up extorting us out of $400,
So where was
and
it
then they
stashed?
kept half the weed
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're good for that.
because
So
it
wait,
was good shit. So
where did she stash it at though?
where did you stash it? She don't want to talk.
Oh, she's-
She's had it in her suitcase or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
She didn't have it on her
Yeah.
person,
Oh,
but
okay.
they
Yeah.
just,
They
they
found it that-
assumed.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So yeah,
crazy.
but it was scary.
Yeah,
It was a
is.
scary situation because we
in
weren't
a
at
whole
we
different
weren't
country.
we weren't in a police station. We
So
was in like a home.
don't travel with drugs. How's
Yeah,
that?
don't do that.
At all.
Don't travel with
Not
drugs.
in another country because their laws are different.
Yeah.
So anything, just be clean. Try and be clean anyway because you don't want to be caught up.
Right.
That's scary. Yeah, you definitely don't. Alrighty, guys. Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you, Melon. We had a good little sesh here. We talked
Thanks
about
for your travel tips.
a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
travel
definitely,
tips and medication, personal experiences.
You can check out my travel tips on YouTube on Malone's Travels.
There you go. All right, guys. You have a great day. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao. That's all for today. Thank you for watching and listening. It truly means the world to me. If you enjoy the show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe at Let Loose with Lou on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify.